The Triscorp screeched and lunged at them. Beakmask shoved the crossbow into its face, the monster biting down and splintering the weapon in its jaws. Joff scrambled to take off his pack. He fumbled with the latch to open it, but couldn't control the tremble in his hands. The Triscorp reared back on its tail, standing on the claw at the end of it, raising its two massive pinchers to attack. Beakmask stepped forward into the creature as the spikes pierced the floor on either side of him. A dagger hilt now protruded from under the Triscorp's head. Another screech, this time muffled, the dagger now sealing its mouth shut. The Triscorp lurched back as Beakmask attempted to withdraw the knife, still stuck. The head now hung, tilting towards Joff, the many black eyes acknowledging this second foe. The monster dug its spikes into the ground again, swinging the tail forward at Joff, who had given up on the bag, staring dumbstruck at the Triscorp as its claws struck him in the chest, the talons digging in. The tail swung back the other way, taking Joff with it, flinging him into the darkness behind the Triscorp. Joff hit what must have been a wall and slumped to the ground, not knocked unconscious, but wishing he had been. Looking up, he saw the silhouette of Beakmask hacking at the downed monster with the hatchet. A realization of a sharp pain on the side of Joff's neck stirred him out of his stupor. He reaches for the spot and pulls out what looks like a spiked metal ball, a few of its long needle-like points red with Joff's blood. He stands, shuffling over to Beakmask, who is calling out for him. "Are you okay?" I think I... Okay, good. This vault probably has more of these things. The only way to actually end them is cutting them in half, so this could take longer than I thought. I found this, and Also, if you look at his back, there are what seem to be poison projectiles buried in it, so that would mean there are going to be poison spike traps along the way, most likely. Joff? Wait, where did you get that? Joff slumped to the floor, his vision blurring, and then clearing, and blurring again, ears ringing. Beakmask rushed to grab his pack and laid Joff on the stone floor. Joff felt Beakmask's hands quickly find the spot on his neck, causing Joff to flinch at the pain. Another sharp pain as something was driven into the same spot, metal attaching to the skin around. Joff's hearing began to return, and the ringing began to fade. His vision cleared to reveal Beakmask's face, staring at him with a frown. "Can you stand?" Joff grunted and rolled onto his side, gathering his legs underneath him. He stood and leaned against the wall. "How do you feel?" "Better, but the spot still hurts." "That's the antidote device. You'll have to keep it on there for a bit." The two moved into the area where Joff had been thrown. 3 more doorways, 3 more potential paths. "Well, since you were lucky enough to be injected with poison first, I'll let you pick this time." "No thanks. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm not going to blame you if something goes wrong, because everything always seems to go wrong in vaults like these." "Alright, fine. The one to the left." "Then left it is." The doorway opened into the next room right away. The darkness chased away by another bolt flare shot by another crossbow Beakmask had pulled out of his pack and unfolded. It revealed a square room with a larger rectangle section at the far wall, consisting of various contraptions, as well as another Triscorp, claw clinging to the ceiling as it hung upside down and seemingly waited for them. Joff was ready this time, with a machete-style sword drawn from his pack. The clicking sound came again, feeling like it was all around them. Beakmask turned around as the Triscorp screeched, the sound surrounding them. "Joff, try to cut the soft spot connecting their tail to the rest of them, or just any segments that you can damage to slow them down." "Them?" Beakmask took a larger axe out of his pack, as well as a spear he unfolded to full size. Joff now turned, seeing a second one approaching through the same door. The second one screeched again, and stopped as another flare bolt shot next to Joff's head into its open mouth, burning the flesh inside. Beakmask lunged at the first one, spear in one hand, axe in the other. Joff faced his opponent, not sure if the bolt had damaged it or just made it more angry. He swung at exposed flesh above its front spikes. The Triscorp raised up to deflect and brought them down upon him. Joff jumped back to avoid the strike and moved to his pack while locking eyes with the monster. He felt around in the bag without dropping his gaze and grabbed something small and metal, putting it into his pocket. Joff knew he was strong, stronger than most other races, even though he hardly did anything physically demanding, just part of being what he was. He wondered how strong these Triscorps were in comparison. He knew at least that he wasn't about to let himself get grabbed again. Joff caught the claw in his left hand and chopped it off at the soft joint with his sword. The monster fell, writhing on the ground and trying to stand. Joff pushed it over and attached the metal object at the halfway point Beakmask had mentioned. He winced. The explosion was more than Joff wanted, even though it did separate the Triscorp into more than 2 pieces. Beakmask was staring at him, wide-eyed, having already killed his foe. How did I do? Joff felt rather proud. Shh. What? Be quiet, you idiot. Listen. There it was, the sound of grinding stone. Beakmask sighed. It's okay. It's fine. I didn't tell you not to. Tell me what? The ceiling is falling down on us. That explosion triggered another trap. What? I told you to stop saying what all the time. Beakmask started hacking at his Triscorp spikes. Your fun explosion triggered a trap, and now the ceiling is coming down on us and will crush us if we don't get out of here pretty quickly. Come over here and do this instead. Beakmask handed him the hatchet and moved to the far wall to inspect the puzzle. Joff could tell the room was shorter already. He finished chopping both spikes off. What now? When the ceiling comes down far enough, use them as supports. I don't think it'll hold, but we might as well try. Now be quiet. I'm trying to think. Joff hurried over to the other monster, taking the bigger axe and getting to work severing the spikes, and then went to the previous room to get the third set. With that done, he ran over to Beakmask. Why don't we just leave? Wait, this side over here isn't falling. We can't leave because I think this is one of the keys. We'll be locked out or locked in if we stay here. They both surveyed the wall. There was what looked like could be the key in the center, sticking out of the wall. 3 odd shapes made up what seemed like the points of a triangle around it. Seems like we're going to need keys to unlock the key. Joff, the spikes! Joff spun and realized the ceiling had fallen further and faster than he thought it would. He ran over and propped one of the spikes just in time. Beakmask joined him, and together they propped up all 6 spikes, which started to creak and crack in some spots. Get my pack. Inside both of ours should be 2 expandable supports. Fill in the gaps with those. Got it. Okay, so 3 keys, each with 4 deeper indents. I would assume they need to be pressed in at the same time. Should we have the keys from some other room? Ow! Joff stepped on the open claw he had severed as he placed the last support. Wait, what about the claws? I don't care about the claws right now. Keep them if you want. Joff picked it up and ran over. He inserted it into one of the slots. It didn't fit exactly, so he tried another slot and it clicked into place. The 3 claws are the 3 keys. Oh, that's brilliant. Not you. I mean the way this was designed. Not that you're not. I mean, good job. Help me get the other 2 off, please. Joff set to chopping the closest one, and a loud creaking filled the room as metal supports bent and snapped all at once. The ceiling now 6 feet off the ground and beginning to crack the Triscorp spikes as it continued descending. We have to hurry. I'll get the one outside. Wait here. Beakmask ran out of the room, now having to duck his head slightly as he went. The spikes all crumbled at once, falling to pieces on the ground, the ceiling continuing downwards. Joff wondered if Beakmask would bother coming back, now that he was out of danger. He put his hands to the ceiling and wondered if his strength would be enough to slow it down. Probably not.